There are lessons that come along in life once in a lifetime, and then there are lessons that happen repeatedly. And it's okay to constantly feel the need to ask whether or not this is actually real, because the things that happen in our everyday lives, everywhere around us, on the internet, often warrant such a response. This is one of those cases, or at least it would seem so.
I'm divorcing my husband because he booed Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl, and I still don't think he believes me, to be honest, but he might want to start, because I just filed my paperwork at the courthouse, and you can see right here, the date of separation is this year's Super Bowl.
Well, Jesus wept. So aside from me initially being speechless when I saw this internet character, I first had to look up why people were booing Taylor Swift. Apparently, it's because sports fans who go there to actually watch or enjoy the sport believe that Taylor Swift gets too much television time during the NFL games, as it says here. I looked at people talking about it, and it's just a weird-ass conversation of women claiming there's misogyny because a certain person took office. And I'm like, these are the same people who were still claiming there was so much misogyny when that person was not in office. So it's very confusing. And it's also weird that people are making it about that, because, you know, it can't be anything else. Some people claim that they booed her because she's a hypocrite. A lot of people are saying that Eagles fans consider her a traitor. And apparently the Kansas City Chief fans are tired of seeing her plastered all over the screen at every KC game. They claim, okay, yeah, they know she's there and they don't care, but they don't want to see her face all the time when she's there. And I can imagine how annoying it must be for her as well, because she might genuinely just want to enjoy the game, only to have people constantly putting her and other celebrities on the spot, which, you know, a lot of celebrities do like, but I admit, yes, there are some that I know don't really like the spotlight. Is she one of them? I have no idea. But one thing that we can all agree on is that there is a bit of unhinged behavior with a lot of her fans. By the way, I want to point out that this is not Taylor Swift's fault. How someone's fans behave should not fall on the person because they can't control other people's will. That would be a problem if people had that power. I mean, as far as I know, nobody has that power to control other people's willpower. You can probably influence them, or they can make that decision themselves, but you cannot directly control someone else. As much as it's hard to believe people aren't marionettes. And the whole concept that, you know, you should blame the person for their fans is pretty stupid, because imagine you're walking down the street and a stalker likes you. Then they kill a whole bunch of people and claim it's because of you. You, a specific individual who doesn't even know that they exist, supposedly made them want to do it. Should you be held responsible for that? No. Okay, just making sure that, you know, we're all on the same page, that we all agree that it's pretty stupid that people believe these individuals should be responsible. Now, unless the person is making a call to action for people to go out and harm someone else, they shouldn't be held responsible for how unhinged their fans might be.
Because I just filed my paperwork at the courthouse, and you can see right here, the date of separation is...
I can't even see that properly. How do we know this? Your divorce papers? Anyway, for you to divorce your husband over a celebrity is just next level insanity. It's giving misery. Good luck finding someone else, but maybe it's for the best that people like you stay alone. For people like this is also something you should not air out on the internet. Now, I have a few things to say about this, but we're gonna let this continue because it's not all her fault, but the only person who looks like the actual villain here is the woman. Pretty sure Taylor Swift would not be okay with this, and if you went up to her and told her what you did, she would look at you like you're a crazy bitch.
This year's Super Bowl. I'm not just doing this because of the action of booing. I am doing this because of everything that it represents in our relationship. I have loved Taylor Allison Swift since I was 12 years old.
Okay, that's kind of creepy. She's not gonna sleep with you, bro. You sound crazy as shit. There's admiring a celebrity and loving their work, and then there's just... You know, the kind of person that you know would gladly stab their own eyes out if the celebrity asked them to, like a freaking insane cult weirdo. This is also the same kind of person who would probably have an issue with certain people they don't like having power and influence, but then go on to worship someone else who has almost the same level of power and influence.
My husband even likes her too. Like, he'll put on her music when we're cooking together. He has a favorite song. It's Girl at Home.
First of all, if this man was pretending to like Taylor Swift just to please his wife, that's on him. Women and men out there, please stop denying your own identity and interests just to please your significant other. The other thing I'm gonna say, which is the most logical conclusion to me, is that it's possible to like someone's music and not like them as a person. It is possible to like their music or one of their songs and still not agree with the things they say, or not want to see them at a freaking Super Bowl. Two things can exist at the same time. Like, your husband can love you, but I can imagine he doesn't like you very much right now. And the people that act like this and make decisions like this, they wonder why they're lonely and why they can't find anyone and where all the good men have gone. Most of them are in happy relationships and the rest are dodging bullets like people like this person.
But we were at the Super Bowl. It was me, him, and 5 of his buddies. And when they put Taylor up on the Jumbotron, all of his buddies started booing, and my husband joined in.
So let me see if I've got this right. Your husband was hanging out with 5 of his guy friends, or how many were there, and you were literally the only woman there. Sounds to me like it was clearly meant as a guy's outing, but either you insisted on tagging along or straight up invited yourself, almost like you didn't have much of an identity outside of him, or you're insecure as hell and can't handle him going anywhere without your supervision. Now, I could be way off here, but it seems as though you're divorcing him because he basically stepped out of line by not worshiping the same celebrity you're obsessed with, which honestly sounds pretty extreme and unhinged.
Taylor up on the Jumbotron, all of his buddies started booing, and my husband joined in.
I know this might seem strange, but did it ever occur to people who act like this, like when you go home, to ask your significant others why they did that? It's crazy. Like, people will come on the internet and say that their husbands did things and did whatsoever, and oh my god, and it's usually women doing it. I'm sorry. Yes, men and women do it too. Women are the first ones when they're crying or having an emotional breakdown to start filming it. I don't know why they do that, but ask your significant other. Let's say that in this scenario, he did it to fit in and he did something which you consider to be unhinged, to follow people that he looks up to or idolizes so they can find favor with him. Tell me, ma'am, how that would be any different from you posting this cringy video of seeking validation from the internet by doing something unhinged just to follow a celebrity that you idolize, as well as the crowd that does the same, so that you can find favor with that celebrity and with the people that follow her. Maybe in this case, these two characters are good for each other. People might think this is a weird sect of religion, but to be honest, they're all the same. All these religions are the same with different deities. And they're all equally disgusting when the people following the religion have no identity outside of it, to the point where they will cut off the people closest to them as soon as they step out of line or have one disagreement, instead of socializing with that person like a normal human being.
All of his buddies started booing, and my husband joined in. And that just tells me everything I need to know about that man, because he didn't care that that would hurt my feelings.
In this particular scenario, I wonder, out of curiosity, how long this woman has been married to this man, because he did something to hurt your feelings, and you mean to tell me that there's nothing else during this entire relationship that he did to hurt your feelings? You mean to tell me there's nothing that you've done to hurt his feelings? In this apparent instance, what if the tables were turned and you had booed somebody that he looks up to, that you don't like, that he personally follows and idolizes? Maybe it's a particular person in politics, or a celebrity that you just loathe for some unhinged reason. Maybe you tolerate that person and put up with it for your husband's sake, but that person that your husband idolizes probably said something ignorant or something you disagree with, and so you're with your girls and you start booing the person along with your girls because, first of all, it doesn't feel appropriate that the Super Bowl time be shared with this person's presence, and second of all, you just don't agree with that person or like them very much right now. How fast would you have taken to the internet to tell all your random girlfriends that lie to your face about how stunning and brave you are for speaking the truth, that your husband is a master manipulator and he's deranged for wanting to divorce you based off of that? The double standard here is crazy insane. It makes sense that this entire thing is insane.
He just wanted to fit in with his boys. He didn't even care that that's not even how he actually feels. He just wanted to look cool, I guess. And that's not a man. That's a boy.
I will agree, there's nothing more unattractive. Okay, there are things that are more unattractive, but one of the most unattractive things is a man that does not have his own identity. I mean, women too, but it's a man that will act one way with you and lie to your face to appease you, which honestly, you have to start unpacking why he would feel the need to do that with you specifically, and then in the next moment act like a completely different person when his friends are around. That is a follower, and that is very unattractive because it means that he's not strong enough in his own character to stick by what he believes in, or that he's afraid of you for some reason, which is also unattractive. He's at a lose-lose here though, because first of all, you're his partner. Well, not anymore, soon enough. Good for him, and apparently good for you too, and I think that's for the best. But also, he looks like a loser for pretending to like things that you like, but also for trying to appease his boys just to appease his boys. The other potential variable of the situation is that you're seeing things that you want to see. Maybe he liked a particular song from Taylor Swift, but doesn't actually like Taylor Swift the way you think he likes Taylor Swift, because you look through everything through the lens of Taylor Swift. So if you're playing her songs 24/7 and they're stuck in his head and he has no choice but to listen to that music, he's going to choose one that he likes, or it's going to grow on him, but he's probably sick and tired of it and it's driving him freaking nuts. If you're the kind of person or roommate that would play Taylor Swift on repeat 24/7, yes, I would start humming her songs because there's such a thing called Stockholm Syndrome. Maybe that's not the correct name in this particular case, but I imagine if you cannot leave the environment, of course you're going to adapt to it, but when you finally are out of it and you're able to breathe fresh air, you want to run so freaking fast away from that thing. Surely he didn't know that was going to hurt your feelings, because if he had, or if he had merely known this was going to be a blow up, he probably wouldn't have done that unless he knows exactly how crazy you are and wanted an out to get away from you, and this was the easiest way he could figure out how to do it. Either way, is this really a reason to break up with your man? But honestly, I think in this case that this specific character should go through with a divorce, because people like her obviously aren't equipped to be married. Marriage is not for everyone, and it certainly isn't for people who feel like they're already married to a celebrity who doesn't even know that this specific person exists. Also, the lack of self-awareness is really freaking wild, because you're saying that this behavior is him acting like a boy, but you're out here on TikTok saying that you're going to separate or divorce from your husband because he booed a celebrity that you're obsessed with and that hurt your feelings, so now you're going to divorce him. And he's a child? Really sit with that for a second. By the end of the video, you're going to find out something really freaking wild, by the way, because yes, this whole thing, believe it or not, gets much crazier.
He feels. He just like wanted to look cool, I guess, and that's not a man. That's a boy. And when you see that, you can't really unsee it.
This woman does crazy faces so well, and like that's the only thing we can't unsee right now. And when people make videos like this, it's on the internet forever. You making a video saying that you're going to divorce your husband over Taylor Swift is something no one is going to be able to unsee. And if the thing is, I know it will get crazier, but if employees see this or employers see this and they're to take what you say at face value, your papers will fly out straight through the door. It doesn't matter what the backstory is. I really hope you're set up and you're getting paid really, really well. Because for videos like this that employers see on the internet, all it shows them is that you can't stick to things that you commit to, like a relationship with someone you claim to love and you would forsake all others for. And it tells the employers you can't work things out and have a grown-up conversation or act like an adult about trivial matters, but you're willing to throw away an entire relationship and commitments off of a freaking fantasy. And people that do things like this are freaking weird. Take a look. Take a good look. This is how to make sure that you stay lonely forever. And people that make videos like this, they not only prove that, but they also manage to showcase that they're extremely manipulative to get their partner to bow down to them and act the way that they want them to act by threatening them over something trivial, like booing a celebrity.
So I'm divorcing him. Thankfully, I have a prenup. I'll be retaining all of my assets as well as the assets that I inherited. With peace and love, he probably will not be returning to the Super Bowl anytime soon. So that's one less booer for you, Taylor. I love you.
Now, if you've made it to the end of this video, the one thing that I want you guys to know that will wash some of the bitter taste out of your mouth is that this woman who made this video made it as satire.
The only person on the team like you make a movie about a green person, and a green person shows up and
literally doesn't know how old I am. People always think I'm joking when I say that, but I'm literally not. Like, we started a bit earlier in our relationship where I was like, I'll never tell you my true age, and then we just kept going with the bit, and now
Apparently she seems to create fabricated stories, and the one that I just went through with you guys, which you can see is at the top of the list here playing, is likely another one. It's a form of satire. And the big question we should be asking is, why was this story so believable? For the majority of you, I can bet that watch this, you probably had no idea. As you listened to me respond to the character she was playing, I'm sure there was a part of you wondering what the hell is going on. How could someone be this freaking crazy? But unless you already knew the truth, I bet you immediately believed it was real. Why? The reason so many people believe the story and why it went viral is because truthfully, there are people out there who are so unhinged that they would actually do something like this. And I would gather that she's probably making fun of those people. And satire is usually based on some kind of reality. There are people who are genuinely obsessed with celebrities like Taylor Swift to the point where they would divorce their spouse, cut off family and friends, and essentially worship at the altar of their favorite celebrity. People have ended marriages over political differences. People have cut ties with family for the same reason. Likewise, fans of certain celebrities, especially someone as idolized as Taylor Swift, have done extreme, irrational things in her name, treating her as their personal lord and savior. Taylor. Taylor Allison Swift.
Weird.
Stories like this take off because they feel real. They are legitimately people in the world behave this way. So while this woman is playing a character or was playing a character, somewhere out there, a real person has done something just as extreme. It makes sense that people would believe something like this, especially when you see the unhinged comments under some of the videos. Like this one, with other Taylor Swift fans defending this behavior and even claiming that they've done the same or making excuses for it. This person legit said, people are taking this out of context. She didn't divorce him for simply booing her. She divorced him because he did it knowing she was a huge fan of her and knowing that it would hurt her feelings just to fit in with his guy friends. Even in response to these other people, which makes it funnier when you know now that it's fake, she replies to the people saying it's still a stupid reason to divorce your husband. And she says, I agree that you shouldn't post stuff like that on social media, to be honest. And I didn't see the full clip, but I'm sure there were deeper issues in their marriage. And the Taylor Swift thing is what tipped it over the edge. Another reason, no matter what side you're on, whether you hate the commenter or the poster, or you agree with her, but the reason why people fall for stories like this is that individuals like her are often completely fine with ruining their own reputation as long as it gets them attention and clout. Maybe this woman who originally posted this video is doing this as a social experiment to see how quickly people run with anything they see online. But if you go out of your way to make something as believable as possible, it doesn't just show how gullible people can be, it also reveals just how far some people will go to be deceptive in the pursuit of attention, recognition, and virality. I honestly think it's fascinating to watch both sides of this equation. Something I find really interesting, and I'd love to test this as a social media experiment, but that would kind of imply I have the power to influence free will, which I obviously don't, is the idea of Taylor Swift completely flipping the script on everything her diehard fans love about her. Imagine if she just suddenly came out and openly supported something that most of her followers would absolutely despise. Would they turn on her instantly? Would their so-called love be so conditional that the moment she's no longer aligned perfectly with their beliefs, they'd all start hating on her? Because honestly, there's no greater hate than when someone who loved you or once loved you or looked up to you suddenly turns against you. Trust me, I know. All it takes is being someone people look up to remotely, somebody they grew up with, someone who got them through tough times, someone who validated the things they loved, shared the same likes. Then the moment you start expressing your own opinions or something that they don't like that you do, or simply talking about your passions that they disagree with, they completely turn. If you step outside the box they placed you in, if you stop aligning perfectly with their beliefs or interests, they will immediately turn on you. They'll start spreading rumors, declaring how much they hate you, how they used to love you, how you changed, and how you're now the worst person imaginable simply because you no longer toe the line they expect you to. You don't fit the neat little character that they've envisioned in their minds of what you're supposed to be, and that being your only identity, being that one thing or part of their lives that encompasses everything that they love. That kind of hatred doesn't come from disappointment. It comes from an insecure, vile place. It's the kind of hate that makes people completely dehumanize you. They'll wish the worst on you, fabricate lies, and try to ruin your life over the simple, unbearable fact that you are your own person with your own passions, and those passions don't always align with theirs. It's insane, and honestly, that's why I understand why some celebrities can't be themselves, why they have to filter everything they say, because some of the people who follow them, they're fucking unhinged. Some of them need therapy, most of them probably need therapy. Some of them need jail, maybe both. It's just a very strange place. All that to say, if you caught what I said at the very beginning of this video, you already know this was a character. Also, if you go back to the intro of the video, you'd catch now why I said at the very intro, and it's okay to constantly feel the need to ask whether or not this is actually real, because these things happen in our everyday lives to warrant that kind of response. Remember I said that at the intro, and that's because with this being the internet, you have to question whether or not things are real. Especially in the age of AI and clout chasing, it's completely understandable to doubt what you're seeing. That doesn't automatically mean something is real or fake, but it is okay to question it. The key is to actually take the time to get to the bottom of it. If you have real evidence to support your conclusion, if you've done the work to verify what you think is true, then you can form some kind of solid opinion. The problem is that most of the time people on the internet don't even bother with that. They just jump to conclusions about someone or something with barely any evidence, or they twist a little evidence that they do have to fit the narrative they want to believe. It's not about the truth, it's about stroking their own confirmation bias. And the truth is, people like the character that this woman was playing do exist. That's why we want to believe stories like this, because it's another notch in the belt of, see, these people, they're freaking crazy, bro. Here's another one. And this probably is the craziest out of all of them, but they're all like this. And personally, I think it's kind of equally insane and impressive to put your reputation on the line like this, knowing full well that most people will immediately believe the worst about you. Now, if you actually made it to the end of the video, leave a comment, but at the very end of your comment, type, "We are Negan." That's your win. That's how I'll know you actually got to the full story, you actually watched the full video, and better yet, it's gonna drive everyone else insane. The ones who didn't finish watching, you know the people I'm talking about where they just like see the freaking video and they start commenting whatever they comment, they haven't even watched like 2 seconds of it yet. And the ones who never will watch the video, they're gonna be losing their minds wondering what the hell's going on with the comment section. But we will know, because it'll be our secret, sort of, which isn't really a secret. But anyway, that was fun.